Donut operator, and let's see what's new in the world of police shootings, because it's always a police shooting. Black man shot 96 times over seatbelt violation. Let's give it a shot, I suppose. I don't really have any words for the title. And there's a question mark, exclamation mark, which means that there is some missing context to this. I'm pretty sure Donut found everything he could possibly find on this story. And I'm pretty sure I know why he got pulled over. Actually, I don't know why he got pulled over. How do you know that he's not wearing his seatbelt? Look at that window tint. How can you even see into the car? Maybe they saw his vehicle as he was approaching them, or as he was approaching the cop, and the cop saw. But from the side and or the back, how do you even know that this guy's not wearing his seatbelt? Look at that window tint. You can't see shit inside that car. Let's see. I don't know. Let's begin.
Roll the window down. Open the door now! Open the door now! 1164 David, shots fired, shots fired!
Hi everyone, Donut here. Today we're going to be breaking down a police shooting where officers fired nearly 100 bullets at a man. An officer got wounded, and an attempted cop killer came to regret every single thing he did up to that moment. It all started...
Oh, well, the plot thickens. I thought this was going to be a case of an innocent man getting fucked with by bad cops, because for some odd reason, man, in my YouTube Shorts feed, I've been seeing a lot of videos of just like bad cops for some odd reason. I don't know why. Let's continue.
with a simple seatbelt ticket, and then everyone tried to make this guy the next George Floyd. Just a seatbelt.
That escalated quickly.
It jumped up a notch.
It did, didn't it?
I haven't seen this much gunfire since that one time in doo-doo poo-poo hippie tent land. I mean, Los Angeles. I don't know what it is about white SUVs, but somehow they make dudes feel invincible.
Nothing can hurt
Lord.
me.
Man, those were some hairy situations. Speaking of America's little third world country, let's go on over to HeyJackass.com and see how it's doing. If you've never seen HeyJackass.com, it illustrates Chicago's values. In Chicago alone this year, there have been 119 people shot and killed, 655 people shot in total. Oh, they took away the dick shot meter. They used to have dick shots on here. Surely out of those 536 people shot in Chicago, it's gotta be those mean old racist police officers doing the majority of it. Surely. That's why they have a civilian oversight board and they defunded their police department.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious.
And don't call me
And
Shirley.
don't call me Shirley.
Let's look at how many people those mean old cops have killed. 2024, killed 1 person, wounded 2 people. That's the police. The police did that. Those are police-involved shootings. 3 people total shot, 1 killed. We definitely need to defund the police now. The majority of 536 shootings is definitely 3, right?
Yeah.
Just checking your math on that. Yes. I got the same.
I love when these statistics get thrown out, because then all of the whiny fucking fairies, they can't say shit. They can't say anything. You know what's the best way to not have to deal with police and have them shoot you? I don't know. Stop fucking shooting each other. Because I guarantee all of those 500 shootings are just y'all shooting each other. But yeah, let's defund the police. Makes perfect sense.
Same thing.
Thank God for that civilian oversight board that's getting all those officers in trouble and making them lose their pension by firing them. Let's go Chicago. Is Beetlejuice still the mayor there?
Now what do you think?
Oh no, it's that douchebag now, Brandon Johnson. I was thinking of Beetlejuice here.
Yeah, what happened to Beetlejuice? I wonder. Gosh, she's an idiot.
Lori Lightfoot, former mayor of Chicago. Okay, she's not there anymore. She was pretty horrible too.
You said it twice. Just say it once more. Come on.
Moving on to our shooting where 96 shots were fired by police. Chicago, Illinois, March 21st, 2024, 6 p.m. 5 Chicago officers signed to the 11th District Tactical Unit, aka some jump out boys, initiate a traffic stop. They noticed the driver of a white SUV was not wearing a seatbelt, which is a reason to pull someone over. The person who they pulled over was this man. This is Dexter Reed Jr. Or if you want to see his high school graduation picture from years ago, here is Dexter Reed. He just had a court date for a weapons charged last year because he brought a loaded weapon to a music festival, a weapon that he was not supposed to have. Officers approached the vehicle, and just as any officer would, they asked him to roll the window down because they're tinted. He could be holding a gun or something in there. Not in a rough neighborhood in Chicago. Who would have a gun and want to use it on police there? Remember, police shoot 3 people a year out of the 536. These police out there in Chicago are very dangerous.
Roll the windows down.
Roll the window down, man.
Roll the window down. What are you doing?
Roll this one down.
Roll that one down too.
Now, this part is very important because it's where everything changes. The suspect suddenly rolls the window up and stops complying with the officers.
Hey, don't roll the window up. Don't roll the window up.
My man is on some kind of drugs. Look at this.
With the officers.
Look at his eyes. Do y'all see that? Hold on now. Let me just enhance. Look at his eyes. Jesus Christ. He looks like the fucking crazy dude that lives out in the cabin by himself in the middle of nowhere from the Mr. Deeds movie. You know what the dude with the crazy eyes, played by Steve Buscemi? Yeah, this guy. This dude has a 360-degree view of all of these officers. This eye is on the officer, and this eye is somewhere over here. Holy. My man's is on something. This guy can see the officers past, present, and future. Oh, man. I swear, officer, I didn't see nobody. That's a fucking lie, dog. You see everybody. Look at your eye. Okay, let's see.
Hey, don't roll the window up. Don't roll the window up.
Okay.
Do not roll the window up.
Do not fucking roll it
Unlock
up.
the doors now.
Fucking door.
Unlock the doors now.
Fucking door.
Unlock the doors now. Open.
So you said it was just for a seatbelt violation, right? I don't know. Obviously, police officers in Chicago, especially these places, I guess they have to be more on edge. But do you know how pissed off I would be if I just got pulled over for a simple seatbelt violation, and then you begin to try to open my door, and you begin to scream at me, and you have your guns drawn, and you're aiming at me, and the only thing I've done wrong is a seatbelt violation? Do you have any idea how pissed off I'd be? I'm just saying. I'd be irate.
The door now. Open the door now. Do not roll the window up.
Do not fucking roll it up.
Unlock the doors
Open
now.
the fucking door.
Unlock the doors
Open
now.
the fucking door.
Unlock the door now.
Because I've seen people get pulled over for a seatbelt violation, and the only thing they get is a ticket. Right? Regardless of your priors. Regardless. It's just a seatbelt violation. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something.
Open the door now. Open the door now.
We have a very dangerous situation right here. Someone with a previous gun charge, not complying with officers, and now your vision of the suspect is completely obscured by that window tint. One of the officers even raises their concern for this.
Open the door now. Open the door now.
All this kind of culminates into the next part.
Open the door now.
He opened fire first. Gotcha. But what I said still stands. Yo, Riz Party, what's going on? What I said still stands. It's just a seatbelt violation. Maybe keep your distance. But this guy has priors, I suppose. And they probably know exactly who this dude is. He's had problems with weapons before. But still, you're assuming that a motherfucker can't change. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to look at this from every possible angle that I can. But you done fucked up. You opened fire on the police. So you're going to get it.
To the next part.
Open the door now. I'm 6-4 David. Shots fired. Shots fired.
So from what we just saw, someone was shot or was shot at. This officer then took cover and reported shots fired on the radio. Believe it or not, it was not an acorn this time. As this is happening, the officer to the right also tries to find cover, get a good angle, and try to figure out what the hell is going on.
Open the door now. Open the door now.
I really was trying to give homie the benefit of the doubt, but if he opened fire on these officers, it really doesn't matter what they did prior to that. You kind of just, you know, fucked yourself, so.
But it's the officer with the third body camera angle where we get to see what is actually going on.
Open the door now!
Oh, he shot at the officer on the opposite side of the window, I think. I don't think he opened fire on the officers on the left side of the car. I think he opened fire on the officer on the passenger side window.
You might have noticed the officer on the passenger side there. He's to the left of your screen. Well, he gets shot by the suspect.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, I thought they executed this man and shot him 96 times over a seatbelt. That's what Twitter told me. Let's take another look.
Yeah, I really tried to give benefit of the doubt, and the way that the title reads, one would think that at some point this man was innocent, and it was something as simple as a traffic violation. But when you're dealing, I guess when you're dealing with people that have a violent history, they're always going to be, you know, violent towards the police, especially if they don't have a good track record. But at the same time, I've seen people that don't have a good track record get pulled over by police for a simple traffic violation, and all they get is a ticket, right? I've seen felons get pulled over for a traffic violation. It's just like, there you go. There's your ticket. There's your ticket. You can feel free to pay it or don't pay it. Go to court. Whatever you want to do. Have a nice day, right? But I think they knew what I think they knew what they were getting into with this guy, and I'm pretty sure they knew that this guy wasn't going to be any kinds of peaceful. I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt, as well as the police, but all that doubt and all that benefit goes out the window when you start shooting at people. So.
And here's the body camera angle from the officer who was shot.
Do not fucking roll it up. Open the fucking door. Unlock the door. Open the fucking door. Unlock it. Unlock the door. You see both hands? Open the door now. Hey!
It's pretty clear from this footage the suspect was uncooperative because he either had a gun already in his hand or he was reaching for a gun. It kind of looks like he used the chaos of the incident to fire some shots at an officer. For anyone who still doubts that the officers didn't fire first, let's go down the list. Body cam 1.
I could tell that the officers didn't fire first. They gave this dude a whole bunch of opportunities from the very get-go. However, I have to repeat it again. I would be highly upset if I got pulled over for something as minor as a seatbelt, and you come up to me, guns hot, and you come up to me, guns drawn, and you come up to me at a 10 instead of at a 1, right? But again, this guy's prior history, right? I guess they knew what they were dealing with. They knew who they were pulling over.
The door now!
You know, they shot him because he shot at them first. Gotta be able to defend yourself. Once you fire at police, bro, that's it for you. That's it. And I want to say this is the case with most countries everywhere. Law enforcement everywhere. You start shooting at law enforcement, I don't really think it matters where you are. Law enforcement will return fire and they will kill you. Maybe you shoot one of them. Maybe you hit one of them. Maybe you drop one of them. Maybe you kill one of them, but you will die in the process. So is what it is.
Didn't shoot. Body cam 2.
Open the door now!
Didn't shoot. Body cam 3.
Open the door now!
Didn't shoot first. Body cam 4.
Open the door
Which that one was pretty obvious, and you just saw body cam number 5, who was the officer that was shot. After the suspect fired...
And the officer that was shot, I can't see his left hand, but in his right hand, he was holding a fucking nightstick. Or a baton, whatever the hell that thing is. Maybe he was holding his weapon in his other hand. Maybe, I'm not sure. I didn't see his left hand, all I saw was his right, and in his right hand there wasn't a firearm, so...
shots hitting one of the officers, they returned fire.
Open the door now!
Now they open fire.
Grenade! Hey, St. Louis gun!
And you're probably thinking, probably gonna be someone in the fucking comment section, why did they have to shoot so many times? Well, you know, sometimes it's because he's in a vehicle, bro. He's in a vehicle. You have to shoot that many times. Hell, if he wasn't in a vehicle, sometimes you have to expend the whole magazine because it's stupid to shoot for the legs. It's brain dead to shoot for the arms. It's retarded to shoot for the feet, right? You shoot for center mass. And if it's a moving target, you're not going to hit every fucking bullet, bro. You're not John Wick, right? So sometimes you have to expend the whole magazine just to shoot someone if they're not in a vehicle. He is in a vehicle. He's got a whole bunch of things that he can hide behind, right? And some of those bullets might not even fully penetrate. Some of those bullets might ricochet. So yeah, you have to shoot that many times. Look at him. He's probably trying to drive away at this point, but he can't because he's barricaded in.
Shots fired.
You shoot until you shoot until the threat is neutralized. 100% neutralized. Too many times I've seen people shoot and then the threat goes down, but the threat can still shoot back, right? You shoot until they're all the way neutralized. And if they just so happen to die, then they just so happen to die. That's just the way it goes, bro. But if you're not a police officer or you've never served, then you don't know that concept, so fine. He's still trying to drive away. That's why you have to continue to fire. Because then if he gets away, he can go on to either shoot somebody, take someone hostage, maybe grab someone, try to use them as a human shield, maybe run somebody over. You have to eliminate the threat immediately. You just have to, man. But if you go on Twitter, there's probably a whole bunch of fucking fairies crying.
Shots fired! Ferdinand Avers! 10-1!
And just for the fairies on Twitter and the crybabies in the comment section, if you don't want to get shot by police, don't shoot at police. It's like a really easy concept, right? It's like super simple, right? Like even a caveman could do it. Yeah, right. It's just very easy to that's how you do it. I just gave you the answers to the test, so hopefully you dumbasses go out there and ace your exam next time you encounter police. Just don't shoot at them and they won't shoot you. Really easy. I've encountered police and guess what? I didn't shoot at them. You know what they did? They didn't shoot me either. Very easy concept. Jesus Christ.
Get back! Shots fired!
Did you guys see the engine smoking on his car? God damn. One of the officers probably fired upon the engine once he probably saw the guy trying to drive away. Can't drive away with your engine riddled with fucking bullets and or the tires, but...
Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired! Police shots fired! Avers and Lawndale! Avers and Ferdinand, shots fired!
Yeah, there was no way he was getting out of that. Probably did, yeah.
After the Mag Dump Olympics right there,
Jesus
the
Christ.
suspect decides to bail out of his vehicle and try to run for it. Unfortunately,
How is he still alive? Oh my God. Jesus. See what I'm talking about? Homie was still alive after all that. That's why you have to empty the magazine sometimes, man.
Fortunately for him, there were some officers who still had a couple of magazines left. Had a couple more rounds for him. He just shot a cop. Probably not going to get away if you just shot a cop. You guys remember Tennessee versus Garner, where you can actually shoot a fleeing suspect if you think they pose serious bodily harm or death to anyone in the public or your fellow officers? This guy just shot a cop.
And yeah, that's what I was going to say. A question I have for all the crybabies. What if this guy goes on to kill somebody else? Oh my God, I can't believe you shot him that many times. I can't believe you shot him, period. Okay, well, what's the alternative? The alternative is he gets away. It's easy to say that, right? But what if he gets away and kills your mom? What if he gets away and goes on to kill your dad? What if he gets away and goes on to take your little sister hostage, or your grandma, or your niece, or your cousin, or one of your homies? It's easy to say that when it's not happening to you, right? It's easy to say that when no one around you is in the area or vicinity of the threat, right? What if? Are you still going to be saying the same thing? Probably not.
So they're not going to let him get away. They're probably going to keep shooting at him.
You didn't have to shoot him. You should have just let him get away. Okay, would you still be saying that if he got away and then took your husband and or your wife hostage and held them at gunpoint? Would you still be saying that? You wouldn't, bro. You really wouldn't.
What you just heard were 96 shots total over the course of 41 seconds. That's a whole lot of bullets flying around.
And he said the place turned into a fucking...
Yeah, that's a lot of crossfire too, because this car is surrounded by police, at the very least 6 of them, but they probably had really, really good awareness during all of this.
bullet testing.
So much so that one of the 911 calls really paints the picture.
Yes, we have a shooting on Avis in Furnace.
How many shots did you get?
Like they're having a Vietnam War.
Understandable. Let me go ahead. Actually, I do see officers already on.
The dispatcher said, understandable. It's Chicago.
Scene, okay?
But after the suspect is incapacitated, the officers rush to the aid of their wounded colleague. You know, the guy that the suspect just shot, which is why they kept firing at him until the threat wasn't moving.
Where's St. Louis? You got you hit? Are you hit? Give me your suit. Let me see you. I'm hit. He's right. Where's he at? I'm hit. St. Louis is hit. Turn it. He's hit. My gun right here. Let me see your hand. Let me see your hand. Hey, come, you're good, St. Louis. You're good. You're good.
I think he got shot in the forearm and quite possibly in the shoulder. It's a good thing he didn't get shot in the face or just in this area, because there is no armor that protects any of this at all. The body armor stops right here, right underneath your collarbone. So, ugh.
Good, brother. You're good.
Luckily, that officer was immediately given medical attention and is in stable condition, but I can't say that that white SUV is in very stable condition. I mean, just look at this fucking thing.
Hey, to the gun's right there. The gun's right there.
The suspect is also given aid after he is searched to make sure he is no longer a threat. They also find his gun in the SUV. Officers as well as EMS render first aid to the suspect, but he ended up dying because he got shot a bunch. After the incident, the officers who fired shots were placed on 30 days administrative leave. An investigation is currently ongoing with the Cook County Cook County State's Attorney's Office. Those guys. As you might imagine, there was a lot of outrage from this event. Big old protests happening. A couple of local leaders getting up and screaming about these cops killing this man with 96 bullets because of a seatbelt. A lot of them are forgetting to mention that he shot a cop first. The family and the family scumbags, I mean attorneys, are calling for criminal charges to be brought up against the officers involved. This kind of comes down to the totality of circumstances, or what the officer sees in front of them. The environment, things that are happening in the moment, the totality of circumstances. This is a very high gun crime neighborhood. There was a 4-year-old shot there last month, and these officers probably know that. Specifically, the neighborhood that they were in is the Humboldt Park area. In 2024, in Humboldt Park, there have been 17 people shot and 3 homicides. The suspect has previous gun charges, the suspect is not complying, and the suspect shot first. If the officers were carrying 9mm pistols, which normally hold, around 20 rounds, that means every officer there unloaded. Their partner just got shot, and they see the guy that shot their partner, so they just kept shooting till the threat was gone. At least that's what it looks like. What do I know, man? I'm just here to point out the facts. That's why I want to ask...
Donut's only an ex-cop, an ex-police officer. What does he know, right?
You guys the $1 million question. What do you think about this incident? Could it have been handled differently? Were the officers too aggressive in the beginning? Was this a good shoot or a bad shoot? By good or bad, I mean, justified.
I feel that it is always the officer's job to not escalate the situation. But when they rolled up on this dude, they were already escalated to 1,000. Already. However, they know exactly who they're dealing with. I've been pulled over for a seatbelt violation before. They didn't roll up on me this way. Right? Probably because I don't have any prior convictions. I'm not a felon. I don't have any prior gun-related charges, right? At all. Just like 1 or 2 fender benders in my day, right? The circumstances change when you're dealing with dangerous criminals, right? And he basically just proved all of our points. He basically just proved us right? So sometimes you don't really have, when you're dealing with certain things as a police officer, you don't have the luxury of just simply arriving calm and arriving cool as a cucumber and being like, "Hey man, let me see your driver's license. Let me see your registration. Let me see proof of insurance. Let me see all these things," right? Like most of us do with traffic violations. They were already dealing with an extremely violent person. Some could say, "Oh, they were just like you said, they were at a 10, so he felt threatened," right? They didn't open fire. All he had to do was roll down the window. Quite possibly get out of the car, let them search him. However, he has gun-related charges, which probably means he's not supposed to have a firearm. And he did, right? That's why he opened fire on the police officers, thinking he could get away. None of you ever get away. Why y'all try? I don't know. You probably didn't want to go back to jail either. So, is it justified? Yeah. Really. You opened fire on law enforcement. Instead of saying black man shot 96 times over seatbelt violation, why don't we just say man throws his life away over simple seatbelt violation? Why can't we just say that? Nah. That we're not going to say that, right? We can't say that because then that would just mean that you know what I'm saying? Can't say that. That would imply that he did something wrong, and no one ever wants to admit that anyone did anything wrong. It's always the police's fault. It's always the cop's fault, right? No, this was justified, bro. Now, if you want to sit there and say you didn't have to fire that many bullets, that many rounds. You didn't have to empty the magazine twice over for each officer. You can say that, right? But he still dies at the end of the day. As soon as he opened fire, these police officers could have not returned fire. He can't go anywhere. He's barricaded in. He can't go anywhere in his vehicle. His only option is to get out. And when he gets out, he still gets shot because he's getting out with a gun that he just used on a police officer. So he either gets shot inside of the vehicle or he gets shot outside of the vehicle. Because he could injure another officer, or he could injure another civilian, or a child, or a neighbor, or an innocent bystander, right? Bullets don't have eyeballs. They just don't. Bullets can't see. Bullets don't pick targets. And bullets also don't discriminate. I don't know. I think I said everything I needed to say. Really, let's read some of the comments. Oh my God. His mother blaming the cops for her baby getting killed, yet not taking accountability for the poor-ass parenting skills. I mean, I didn't really feel like I needed to say that. I feel like that was pretty much implied. I mean, and it showed the pictures too. How does he go from high school graduate with what seemed to be a bright future, looked like a well-to-do young man in that photo, to packing heat, probably hanging out with the wrong people, probably hanging out with the wrong crowd, probably under all of the wrong influences. Yet it's the cops' fault because the parents didn't parent and the kid didn't listen. This is criminals versus cops, man. This is a tale as old as time. Cops and robbers. Cops die fucking with criminals. Criminals die fucking with cops. This is just, you know, I don't even know why anyone's surprised. Oh, a criminal got killed by a police officer. They usually do. They usually do. Man, that's just is what it is. If you don't want to get killed by a cop, like on the movie Liar Liar. Stop breaking the law, asshole! They say driving without a seatbelt can kill you. I love how his mama was on TV saying he was a good boy when he was already on bail for another crime. I mean, hey, listen, you can turn your life around. You can. You absolutely 100% can turn your life around. People make mistakes. You break the law, you get arrested, you go to jail, you pay for your crimes. And for most people, that is enough. For most people, that is enough. You're not going to die because you broke the law, right? You're not. Plenty of people break the law all the time. They go to court, they go to jail, they do their time, they get out, right? And you would think that would be enough, but yeah, I don't know. Dude really thought shooting a gun while literally surrounded by cops was a smart idea. Have seen lots of stories like this. He was killed because of an expired tag. He was killed for failing to use a blinker. He was killed for going 5 miles over the speed limit. Then when you actually hear the details of what happened, it's usually those things that started the initial interaction with the police and then escalated when the suspect refused to listen or cooperate. Let's see how this one compares. About as expected. And listen, you're never going to get anywhere and prove your point or prove your innocence by fighting with the police. I know that the justice system fucking sucks, but I'd rather deal with a broken justice system that may or may not send me to jail or give me a shitty verdict than to fight against the police and now I'm dead. I mean, I thought that was... You never get anywhere fighting against the cops. You fight against the judge, you fight against the jury, you fight against the prosecutors. You don't fight against the cops. Well, we don't really have a choice because the justice system sucks. Yeah, but the justice system is not going to shoot you in the face. The judge is not going to shoot you in the face. As soon as you walk into that courtroom, no one is going to shoot you in the face. The cops will, though. There's a place to fight and there's a place not to fight. And these motherfuckers would rather die before they ever walk into a courtroom. I am curious as to why all the articles are titled "Black Man Shot Over Seatbelt Violation" instead of "See, Black Man Pulls Gun on Police Over Seatbelt Violation." They're not going to say that, though, especially mainstream media, especially all the news outlets that are covering this, because then that would imply that this man was innocent when he actually wasn't. And it's easier to blame police than it is to blame bad parenting or just the lack of brain power that some of these fuckers have. You know, can't blame them. Why? Because he's black. That would be racist to blame him, right? It's just the way this country operates now. Nobody is talking about the old man who made the 911 call and said, "It's like a Vietnam War over here." And the operator's response was understandable. I mean, I acknowledge that for sure. The operator was like, "I know, it's always like this." Someone said 100% justified. It doesn't matter why the suspect was initially pulled over. He wasn't complying. Exactly. Man, if you get pulled over by a bad cop, that is the worst thing that you can do, is fight. Because if it's a bad cop, you're fucked, bro. You're fucked. And if it's a good cop, you might still be fucked, especially if you shoot at him, right? So it doesn't matter if you got pulled over for no reason. It doesn't matter if he profiled you. Guess what? You go to court and be like, "Hey, that cop is fucking racist. He pulled me over because I was black. He pulled me over because of this. He pulled me over because of that." And then just hope that you have a decent public defender, because none of these dudes can afford actual decent attorneys. The real tragedy here is nearly 100 rounds and the suspect wasn't hit. I mean, they are shooting at a vehicle. It's got to go through metal. In some instances, depending on the vehicle, steel, plastic, fiberglass, like just a whole bunch of things, right? So, and again, you're in a vehicle. You have to go all in when you're shooting at a vehicle, because there's so many things that bullet can do when it strikes the vehicle. And I guarantee that, I wonder how many bullet holes he had in him, because there was 96 shots fired. I wonder how many entrance wounds he had compared to the number of ammunition that was spent. Someone said that dude's mama and lack of a father is more to blame than the officers for her son's death, something we hear Charlie Kirk talk about quite a bit. I like how the media only focus on what the cops did, not mentioning the fact that Dexter shot at the cops and fired first. This is why you always wait for the full details. The worst thing you can do is rush to judgment. I almost rushed to judgment on the police officers. Almost. Not even on the guy. Not even on the suspect. Almost. I was close to doing it. Like, almost. Because I'm telling you, man, I'd be really pissed off if I was approached this way by cops, but they had a reason to approach that way. You can't tell me they didn't. Everyone talks about how many shots were fired, but no one talks about how he was still running until the last few shots. So it took every single shot. Yeah. I'm telling you, until the threat is neutralized. Neutralized, guys. Here we go. Got some information here. It wasn't just one, I mean, I'm going to take this with a grain of salt, but it wasn't just one gun charge. He'd been arrested 11 previous times for illegal possession of firearms, altered serial numbers, and in this instance, he actually fired 11 shots, with the first wounding the officer on the front passenger side. And all 11 spent cases, as well as the gun, were found in the vehicle. But of course, cue the crying, fainting relatives insisting he was a good boy. He didn't have no gun, etc., ad nauseum. Yes. We see that happen plenty of times. But that's just a natural reaction from a family member. It's that they're just going through the 5 stages of grief. So, but it's just not true, man. Like, it's all caught on video. What, you think the officer on the passenger side shot himself and they planted a gun with 11 spent bullet casings in the car in less than 42 seconds? Yeah, no.